All right, so we're back out here on the Comet. Last time we're here, we did some Pour 15 work. Let's go inside and take a look at that. There we go. Pour 15 is dry. And you can see the impregnated fiberglass cloth is there. It's well impregnated. And that was the hole right there. Okay, now, nice and hard. Went underneath, looked. Yes, there are still some pinholes. I made one minor mistake in calculating how to cut my cloth. Doing it fast and dirty. I missed a hole. Missed one there, and I think I missed another one. Like, I think that's a hole. Well, there's a few holes underneath that I could have covered with cloth in the Pour 15. Not a big deal. I've got to do there. There it is, right there. See the little hole? Light coming through from the underside, but that's okay. When you're fast and dirty, sometimes you miss stuff, and you have to go back and plug up the little tiny holes. But I've got some areas to do up here. There were some rust holes underneath this piece that went all the way through the pan, and I may have to plug them from underneath. I do have several tubes of pour patch that I bought for little bitty tiny holes like that. Got these 3 holes here I've got to do something about, but you know, it's a little stuff. But let's get going and let's look at and see what we're going to have to do to fill in that mammoth hole there. Got to fill in that piece, and we're going to have to make a piece that goes on top of this. As you can see where I cut it out before, it was pretty rusty back here, but it is like a cap that goes over all of that and kind of sandwiches it all together and reinforces it and makes it solid. So let's get going. Well, let's get these pliers out of the way. I guess the first thing we kind of need to do is try to rough out how big that hole is, because as everybody knows, when you start curving metal, you add to your dimensions. So it looks like it's being able to curve the tape. I'm roughing 10 inches there and roughing 9 inches here. Let's rough 16 inches. Yeah, let's see. 10 on one side. Pull park. Let's do it again, just for good measure. Actually more like 8.5. Yep, 10 inches. Well, like, if I went 9, that wouldn't be bad, but let's see. Closer to 8.5. What does it look like in the middle? Like 9.5 in the middle. So 10, 9.5 down to 8.5. So let's come up with some scrap metal and see what we can make happen. Alright, well, I've got a piece of scrap marked out here. Got a straight edge laying on it. We broke out the plasma cutter. Let's see what we can tear up. If this thing's gonna cut. Did I cut? Yep. Indeed it did. Tell you, with this plasma cutter, you gotta be careful though, because I'm on 110. house voltage, and I don't have a lot of amperage out here. I've only got like a 15 amp breaker, I think, and it runs this whole shop, exterior light, interior shop lights on one circuit. I've got to get some more electrical out here in my shop area, so that's a down the road thing. Tell you what I will do, it'll save a little bit, but I can go shut those lights off. Even though they're LED, it'll be something. Do know this, when my compressor kicks on and I've got the lights on and I'm trying to run this plasma cutter, that is a no bueno. I have to wait for my compressor to shut off. So yeah, definitely need to get some more electrical out here in the shop. Quick cuts like this, it's not such a big problem, man. Went a little too fast. And there goes the compressor. Went a little too fast. I got a couple places that didn't cut all the way through. But I think they'll break off. Yep. Yeah, that thing, it's cut 40. If I get enough electricity out here, that thing is the dude, man. Okay, well, compressor cut off. Let's make this last cut. See if I can go just a little bit slower and get it cut all the way through the first shot. Almost. Just look how razor sharp straight that line is. Right down my straight line. Straight edge, not a straight line. And there we go. Roughed in piece of sheet metal. Now I've got to take and figure out where I got to put a little contour right here, bend it. I've got to get it to bend. Turn you a little bit. I'm going to get it to bend here. I'm going to get it to bend here. I'm going to get it to bend up back there and still be in the dimensions of the hole. So I guess what I'm going to have to use is a little brute strength and some hammers. That's my guess at this point. But first I'm going to try to mark out where I need that contour, because I can pretty well tell you, I know the spot that that's going to have to be put in. So let me get to work and I'll bring you back when I made some progress. Alright, one of the things I forgot is I had, and it was covered up over here when I got to messing around getting ready to start trying to shape this piece. I found that this is the actual piece that I actually cut out of here, and you can see all the rot in it and why I cut it out. But one of the things I have to keep and try to make work again is this piece right here. This is actually the seat mount for the bottom of the lower back seat to secure it. So I'm gonna have to transfer this onto the new piece of metal. But anyway, I just thought I'd bring you back and show you I found this. This will kind of help me rough in what I need to do on my new piece, if I need to do any trimming or cutting or whatnot on it. So, but I'm well outside of the footprint of the piece I cut out, so I should have enough metal to actually work with. So let me get to work. Started the, like I said, the roughing in process. We've got a few little bends in it, light bends. This gauge steel here, I don't know exactly what it is, but it's heavier than actually the sheet metal that was originally on the car. But I think I've got something I can work with now. I've got to get in here and we've got to do some grinding and getting prepped. Got to punch some holes in this panel to do some plug welds. And I think I can do what I call a tack and smack. Tack it, smack it in the spot you're fixing the welding, and just keep going around. Tack it here and smack it. Tack it, smack it, tack it, smack it. I have used that method before to get sheet metal to kind of conform to an area I needed it to fit in, and it has worked before, so we're going to give it a shot and see if I can make it work here. Alright, well there we go. I've got it basically roughed in. It's roughly the correct shape. It's not 100%, but it's close. It'll fill in the hole. It's going to be a little bit raised up in the middle, but I mean, you know, it's going to have a seat sitting on top of it. I might be able to, once I start getting it tacked down, to knock it down right here, because right along in here is where that little bracket's going to go. So, you know, trial and error on some of this stuff, guys. Again, I'm a mechanic. I'm not a body man. I'm making do. So let me get the welder going, get rock and rolling on that, see if we can get this panel stitched into place somewhat. I'm racing daylight, and it's winning. Well, there it is. I got about 3/4 of the way done, and I don't know if you can see at the end of that time lapse or not, but I actually crawled under the car, got a flashlight, was looking around at what was going on underneath, and I'm going to end up having some work underneath. I'm going to have to kind of fold the original sheet metal around this new piece of sheet metal and try to get it tacked in a few places, and I'll be a little happier with it. It's definitely going to take some seam sealer, because like I said, if you look at the end of that time lapse, you can actually see a few little flickers of light. That's my flashlight shining through those holes. So gonna have to do a little looking, a little sealing. Is what it is. There's no longer a gaping hole. Well, there it is, guys. We about burned all the daylight for today. We'll be back out here tomorrow and get back on it. So stay tuned.